Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss a woman's ass. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my nip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday, and we are back in here to have another intriguing conversation involving relationships. You're listening to the voice of reason on Dash Talk X. I'm Zoe Williams, aka the VOR. We had an amazing show today, Zoe What Morning Show, with brother Risa Islam, my homeboy Andre Truth, of course, Jeff Brown, Hassan McCullough, and Kevin Barringer. We back in here to give y'all the nightcap, the voice of reason. You already know how we get down for these shows. It's not very difficult to find them. All you have to do is download the Dash Radio app or go to dashradio.com and then search Dash Talk X. As is commonplace for most of my shows, I like to promote businesses, specifically Total Package Energy. You see it. I've already had 3 of them today. I don't know if I was supposed to have 3, but I've had 3 of them. I do not anticipate sleeping tonight, and it's fine. I will be up reading, watching old 80s movies. I was up, we live. See, let me tell you something about you. Let me tell you something about you. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my larger friends just walked in. His name is Chris. There he is right there. Let me paint the picture. Do you remember Rosie Greer from back in the day? He's like a mixture of Rosie Greer and Heavy D. He just walk in talking to people while we live on the radio. This is not how it works. This isn't how any of this works, Chris. This is a live radio show, and I will not tolerate your disrespect. You see I'm on that Total Package Energy. You see I'm turned up right now. TotalPackageEnergy.com. I'm going to tell you right now, go there, and we got to move before the end of the month. We've got to move 200 cases. It's simply the best energy drink I've ever had in my life. And I'll be on it. And I'm not addicted. People have been saying, you're addicted, Zoe. You're addicted to it. No, I'm not. I just need it. I mean, it's good. It works. 0 sugars, 0 carbs, 0 jitters, 0 crash, amino acids, B vitamins. What? Antioxidants. It was designed by some athletes, man. It's not no bullshit. It's better than Total Package. It's better than 5 Hour Energy, Red Bull, Monster. It's better than all of that. Total Package Energy. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you. Oh, Jesus. People should say, I'll call during the show. I know he's on the air, but I'll call him. My man, Wayne, long time no see. Don't worry, good brother. They're getting you a chair, man. And we're finna turn up in a second. Listen, everybody in my chat room. First off, Dash Radio listeners, let me explain to you. When you hear me say chat room, it's because I'm talking directly to my YouTube page. You in a dig? We broadcast this show live. Wait a minute, we need some chairs for he's gonna be on the show. We broadcast this show live into my YouTube account. And you can see this show right now. Just go to www.youtube.com/The Zoe What Show. All right. I'm done promoting today. I got a great topic. There's a lot of people coming in and out. But before I even get to my topic, I got to address some things. First off, let me say hi to Dr. Glenna. The good doctor has returned. Dr. Glenna Anderson.
Hi, everybody. The good doctor. I guess that's my nickname now, the good doctor.
That's what they named you. They named Donnie Peaches.
That's funny.
And you're the good doctor.
All right, I'll be that. Redman voice, doctor. I'll be that.
I'll be that. But I will say this. She's not here to argue. People be wanting to argue. She's not here for that. She's a repository of information. She is here to deliver facts and knowledge about said topic. She will not banter with you back and forth.
That's funny.
That
works.
Yes?
That works.
Got her in here all nervous.
Okay, ain't nobody said all that.
I want to see Long Beach sometime.
Ain't nobody said all that. Now.
Dr. Glenna, can I tell you guys that demo that you guys did?
Oh, you liked it?
That was hot monkey grease.
Oh, just wait on it then.
You feel me? I was in here low-key producing. I wasn't really doing nothing, but they natural flow was powerful.
That's because we actually friends in real life.
Yeah, it was good.
You know what? That's one of the things. So can I clarify what you've been talking about?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Since I can't tell nobody what you're talking about. But just so y'all know, what he's talking about is a group of African-American professional ladies, and we actually like each other. And so when we go to do things professionally, that's how it comes across. All of us are all about no competition. If I see something beautiful, I'm going to call it out. That's how we operate. Man. So all of us get together, and it happens in real life.
They killed the game. I was in here like...
So silly. Diabolical laugh.
Yes, man. I was like, okay, this gonna work. You know, it don't always work when you do a demo. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we have an amazing topic today. My other homeboy is in the building. Or he's not the other homeboy. She's a woman married with 2 kids. Okay. My other friend is here. I ain't seen him in a minute. Psychic Wayne. This is about to be crazy up in here. A therapist and a psychic walk into a bar. No, I don't know. It's not a real joke. Man, Psychic Wayne, how you been, man?
I've been good. I was interested in...
Is his mic on, Phil? It doesn't sound like it.
When you hit me up, I had thought about you earlier today. I haven't been on the show in a while. And there the email was.
Wait, say something.
I can't hear him.
You can't hear me?
Him? Oh, he sounds
Oh,
great
there
to
we
me.
go.
Yeah,
okay. You hear me?
It's the janky headphones.
Yes, it happens sometimes.
The janky headphones.
It's fine.
You wiggle it 3 times and mess with it like a joystick.
That is
like
my son.
Pac-Man. I think I might.
New?
Yeah. No, this is my...
Down, up, shift. What's the cheat code to these headphones?
Listen, ain't no key codes. We ain't even supposed to be talking about jankiness on the air.
Sorry.
We supposed to act like nothing happened.
I'm sorry.
The number to dial is 323-230-4610. Psychic Wayne is known all over the country for his readings. Tell people what type of readings you do, because I think with today's topic, this is going to be crazy.
I read the tarot, and I'm also an astrologer. Mm-hmm. So I read the cards, and I read the stars.
The cards and the stars.
Yes.
Before I even mention the topic, I'm just I got to ask this. Can you see abuse in the cards and the stars?
Absolutely.
That scares me.
Why?
Can you imagine?
Well, let me say this. You can see the potential of that.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen.
Well,
uh-oh.
Yeah. Hey, I don't take away anybody's free will.
Can we find the soundtrack for The Nun? Or The Conjuring or some shit? The number to dial is 323-230-4610. I got a great... I don't know if it's a great topic. Look at Mimi. Mimi just walked in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome.
Okay, Mimi.
To the voice of reason. Mimi, take that chair right there, honey. Man, this is about to jump off. We have a star-studded panel. We about to get into it. Craziest topic I think I've done all year. You guys ready?
I am.
Mom, you should take the rod from your boyfriend before he spoils your child. An in-depth look at disciplined child rearing and child abuse. Mom, you should take the rod from your boyfriend before he spoils your child. Now, what's really crazy about this topic is I know so many women in particular. Thanks, Mimi. In particular, right, that just kind of turns a blind eye. I know a bunch of women like either they turn a blind eye or they've participated. Now, of course, I'm talking specifically about those mothers in that situation. And I'm not talking about all women because some people will paint it as all mothers, and it's not all mothers. It's a lane. It's a vein of mothers that kind of either are participants or watchers. I know this one girl I dated, her mother was kind of like on autopilot and didn't, like, how do you not pick up the signs? Is it hard to pick up the signs that your boyfriend is grooming your daughter? Yikes. Like, or did you guys see that video that the homeboy Earthquake posted on his Instagram where the man, it's like a line of daughters. There's like 3-4 daughters. And the man is, you know, you got to say the W with wind. He is whooping the girls' asses. Whooping their asses. But you hear the mother in the background cheering. Yeah, beat their ass. Get her ass. Get her ass. I'm like,
was that the one that when they were twerking or something?
I don't know what happened. I know that ass whooping was epic.
Right.
that ass whooping could have been in the Coliseum. Fuck it. Let's just put this in the ring or something at the MGM. Them little kids was getting their ass whooped. So I'm confused. Sometimes it don't be daddy. I've had when I was mentoring at the LA Bridges program at an inner city school here in LA called Fauché. At Fauché. It's in the hood.
I know about Fauché.
I've had mothers come up to me and say, listen, yo ass is the closest thing to a father these dudes got. So, in the event you got to take this nigga behind the bungalows and sock him in the chest, please do that for me. I'm like, what? I can't even touch your kid. What are you talking? No, please. Like, they listen to you. They respect you. But if they get out of hand, you can sock them. If you, I was like,
that's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope, man.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, man. I had to do the topic once I saw the video. Sparing the rod. Should kids nowadays get whoopings? What are the parameters? What's too far? What are the rules for whoopings? I know my mother didn't have any rules.
Mine either.
Just based off of the shit I got whooped with.
Did you get hit with the Hot Wheel track?
Everything, my nigga.
Okay.
Everything.
Yeah.
Extension cords.
Switches. Belts.
Switches. I got a whooping for upsetting a beehive once.
Because upsetting the beehive itself wasn't enough, like to scare the mess out of you.
I was the one getting.
That you had to get beat too.
Right. I was the one who got stung like 200 times.
That's what I'm saying. Like that in and of itself wasn't punishment enough.
So you gonna whoop the same legs with the stings on them?
Right. So it can sting more.
Yeah.
Right.
And teach your ass a double lesson. Well, I'm already stung.
Right.
What the fuck? Okay, cool. So there was no rules. And I'm saying, what are the rules today in the digital age? When a kid is born with a cell phone with 911 on speed dial. Kids will call on their mamas nowadays. Or will they? We're going to get into that. Our crew is in the building. I've got a couple of questions. Why do some mothers turn a blind eye to their boyfriend's abuse of their children? The number to dial is 323-230-4610. Call us right now. True or false? When someone has an intention of sexually offending a child, it is not uncommon for them to start by desensitizing a child to certain types of inappropriate touching. Come on, let's wrestle. No, nigga. Wrestle with my mama, cuz.
Right.
Fuck is you doing?
Right.
Let me tell you, when I was a kid, I did some horrible shit to my mother's boyfriend. Because first off, she had this one nigga. We just hated him off tops. He was fat and sloppy and arrogant. And we was like little wild, light-skinned monkey lemurs.
Right.
Just ready to get into some shit. And one day we heard an argument. We was like, it's on this nigga arguing? Oh,
right.
Oh, it was crazy. We surrounded the house.
You know what? I love it.
I mean, it's 4 brothers.
Right.
4 brothers and 2 sisters. So we surrounded the house, 2 brothers in the front. This nigga's not getting out. 2 brothers from the back. Let's bring in the pit bull Duke.
Oh, shoot.
Our dog's name was Duke.
That's right. Duke's that shit.
We let Duke go, that nigga in the house. It was wonderful. It was one of the greatest days of my life.
Right.
Is it just me? Is this wrong?
I'm feeling you the whole time.
I feel good about beating a boyfriend's ass.
Was the relationship over after that?
It had to be.
Right.
Well,
because we pushed the limit.
Right.
He tripping? Is he tripping, mama? You know, it's like
Right.
dog was already on his ass. Well, I'm just saying. A lot of times these women be bringing in like predators, dudes that be sizing up your daughter, and because you so lonely, you want to turn a fake blind eye. Girl, you shouldn't have been walking out here in them shorts anyway. Well, nigga, I'm at home.
Right.
What is you? How many of you deal with women who pay more attention to their boyfriends than they do their daughters, their kids? Get to your phone lines. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. Dr. Glenna, we need some information on this subject. And since you are our resident think tank of said information.
No pressure.
I'm just trying to understand. Do you see that? Do you hear about people dealing with that trauma that, man, my mama wasn't even there, even though she was there, she wasn't there.
Right.
Like, she didn't stop him. Like,
Absolutely. You absolutely, like, I see it. You know, I specialize in adults. I don't treat minors for that reason. I already know I don't have the professional capacity to hear a child actively tell me something and me not lose my license trying to meet their mom in the parking lot. So I hear it on the adult side. Adults saying I experienced severe sexual abuse, severe physical abuse. Sometimes not even severe, sometimes just ongoing abuse that just went on until they could finally turn 18 and get out of that house. But absolutely, you hear cases all the time of people, they're in denial, you know, about the fact that it's happening, or you hear times where someone went and told a parent and nothing happened. And so you basically just taught the child, like, we're not going to validate your feelings. The relationship with this man is more important than your safety. So it completely sends a message. And unfortunately, it happens way more often than we'd like to know.
God damn. And let me ask you one more question before I get to the rest of the crew. Why in the Feast of Samhain are motherfuckers brutal, like, recording these brutal ass whoopings? What's up with the social media component? Like, it's bad enough I'm whooping your ass, but I'm going to film it too.
And post it.
And post it.
Film
what
it
is
and
that
post
about?
it. Yeah. So a lot of that has to do with number one, our cultural beliefs in terms of what's appropriate in terms of discipline. We believe that that's appropriate discipline. But number two, we don't understand that our cultural beliefs don't always line up with the law. And so when you're doing things like this, first things first, you do realize that certain forms of corporal punishment are illegal. Like, it's not about what you feel and my mama did this and she all right, you know what I mean? She gonna live through it. But some of this is just plain illegal. So, I mean, to me, if that's not enough to scare you and to stop trying to use social media to embarrass your children, then I don't know what is.
What are the legal ramifications? What are the types that are illegal?
What's appropriate?
Yeah, what's appropriate?
So the law works, they look at it down. They look at physical abuse and they look at all the way to the lowest form of physical abuse. Okay, so you always have to be careful, because if a CPS call, like, for example, someone comes to my office and it looks like it might be child abuse, I call CPS and I let them figure out whether or not it is or isn't. So you always be careful when it comes to that. But the law, I believe, and don't, because I might, yeah. But it's like basically like the soft buttock area. You can open hand swat your child on the soft buttock area, which means, as much as we want to, no, it ain't legal to pop your kid in the mouth. No, it's not. Like,
listen,
culturally, it's appropriate, but no, it's not legal to pop your kid in the mouth.
Do you know how many Mayweather mothers is out
I'm saying.
there popping motherfuckers?
I'm saying.
Shut your.
I'm saying. But this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying what we do culturally, it doesn't line up with the law, and oftentimes that's where we get caught up. It's not just black folks either. Other cultures have independent things that they do within their culture. It just doesn't line up with what the law says.
Lord have mercy, Jesus, in the name of... Okay, sorry. I'm struggling tonight. I need to know from you, how do you read it, like, astrologically, with the cards? Like, who's the most, like, mean-ass mama? Or is it I bet you it's a Scorpio, ain't it? It's a Scorpio mama.
Probably.
I will fuck you up. I will kill you.
If I do a natal chart,
yes,
I have a fourth house, and the fourth house is your childhood. Generally, I can tell if your parent was alcoholic or abusive or whatever, from whatever sign is there, and the ruler of that particular house. Really? And you were saying that, what is this about, with people posting it?
Yeah.
We're in the age of Aquarius. This is why the whole thing with police brutality is being videotaped. Mm-hmm. We're in a high-tech society, so that's all a part of it. So we got to take the good with the bad.
That's crazy. I mean, I used to get whoopings, and the neighborhood knew about it because they could hear. But I don't think my mother would ever post it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's the age we're in. That's how we think these days.
Mimi, how did your ass get whooped? Did you get whoopings?
Wow, that's
I don't know if Mimi got whoopings.
I didn't get whoopings because I wasn't in a situation where there was a lot of structure and discipline. I was in a situation where I was put from grandparent to grandparent, auntie, cousin house. My mama had her show on the road. But what's interesting is that I had a situation where something was happening in the home that I was in at my grandmother's, and I was being molested, but they didn't actually do the act, but they had put me on top of them to the point where I bled. And so I told my grandmother, who then called my mother. When I told my mother what happened, she didn't want to come get me because she was having a great time with her new life, her new husband, whom at that time I didn't even know. But so she told me, oh, it's not what you think. You're misunderstanding something. She really tried to brush it under the, like it was nothing. Like, you can deal with this, because if it would have been a situation that she acted like it was a problem, my grandmother would have said, come pick her up and be a mother and get her out of here. So my mother played it like, well, whatever for that. That's not true. So it was very interesting, because at that point I felt like then it was okay for him to do what he was doing, because my mother then, not that I wanted it, but I'm saying, how is it that your mother is allowing this to happen to you and makes no attempt to talk to this person? Like, you know what I mean? It's just business as usual, because she wanted to be on the road doing what she was doing. So my grandmother would go out sometime because she made a lot of money, her and her husband. And so he would be my babysitter, and he would play Candy Lane with me, do homework with me, run my bath for me. He is my person to take care of me. Wow. So it was a very, very horrible situation. But then I go to the next house, and then here's other things. Each house has its own struggle. So my point that I'm making is that I understand this topic well, and I am a victim of it. So yeah, I definitely can feel the whole topic.
Glenna, how do we walk her out of that? How do you, like, in a real world, in a sane world, what would have been the procedure in dealing with that? Clearly your mother didn't do what was right, but what would have been the right, I guess, set of actions?
So I'm going to give you the clinical answer, and then I'm going to give you the Long Beach answer.
I want both.
The clinical answer is, number one, we should have reported it, because if he did it to her, then there's a good chance that he offended on other children. Mm-hmm. And so, like, for example, if she were to come into my office, the next question I would be, do you know his name and address? Because right now I would want to report it just to see, does he currently have access to other kids? Because we got to nip that in the bud. Mm-hmm. So mom would need to call 911, file a formal police report, call CPS, get the whole ball rolling. And of course, remove her from him. Make sure that he doesn't come back into the home. Find another babysitter. That just would have been the easy fix. Find another babysitter in addition to reporting. Right. The hood answer. Y'all already know the hood answer.
We already know.
We got to call Nuck Nuck and them, and somebody finna handle something for a 2-piece and a 6-pack of Budweiser, because at the very least, if you're not going to, I'm a licensed clinician. I am always an advocate. I have called CPS numerous times. It's not that I enjoy it. It's just that I understand it's a necessary thing that we have to do. But you have to defend your kids. Like, you have to let your kids know, I will ride for you.
Right.
Like I said, at the very least, just remove the person, from the house, so that the child is not sitting there living in fear over and over and over again.
Go ahead, Mimi.
I was just going to add that what was interesting is that my younger sister, who my mama had later, who she treated her much differently. It's like she wanted to make up for how she treated me, so she overdid it with this particular child. But long story short, something happened with this child, and she was like, I'm calling the authorities, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So then I said, that's good. But you know what's funny? That happened to me and nobody did anything. I stayed in the house with the predator. And because, he was my step-grandfather's nephew from St. Louis. So he lived in the house with us. And so she said, I don't remember that. I said, you got to be kidding me. I remember the conversation. You were on the phone. You told me don't worry about it. But now you're so upset about my other sister, which this really feels great right now. You know what I'm saying? And so she's like, well, let's get his number. I haven't talked to them in years. Let's confront him. I said, check this out. That happened like 30 years ago.
Wow.
You know what I mean? We was going to address it. Some addressing need to happen when it was happening. I don't even need to talk to this brother. You understand me? There's nothing else to really talk about as far as I'm concerned. But it was just interesting to me how the second child got the double attention, which was a negative approach anyway because she turned out kind of
overcompensating.
But it really didn't work out good for her. You know what I'm trying to say? It kind of put her in a situation where she was timid in life and couldn't speak for herself. My mother, if you said, how are you doing today? My mother would say, she doing fine. She just did her homework and she ate. Ain't that right, Nicole? You know what I'm trying to say? So she's speaking for her. And so really I thought this all was bad. And it was bad that this happened to me. But if I was under her household, it would have been just so much worse because the type of person that I ended up seeing that she really was. I love my mom. I'm not trying to put her on blast. I'm just speaking my truth. Okay. You understand? Right. Everybody's got their truth.
Right. Dr. Glenna, and of course, my man, Psychic Wayne, is in the building. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. We want to hear your stories. If you've gone through anything remotely close to what you've been hearing, please call us and share. Of course, there's no judgment. There's no condemnation. If you want a reading, call in, man. Let's figure this whole thing out. I've got a question for Dr. Glenna and Psychic Wayne, respectively. Does spanking suggest to a child that domestic abuse is okay? Glenna?
They've done, this is a debatable topic. They've done studies and they found a correlation between spanking and violence later on. Now, I'm always, when it comes to studies, I'm always like, well, who was in the sample? Because you don't look at people who are non-violent that maybe that were spanked. They're not included in the sample, so if you only have access to people that have a propensity towards violence, which means they might be in the system or something like that, then that's the only people that you're going to get to ask. So that's not saying that study is not accurate. I'm just saying that when we look at things like that, like when we look at the correlation, look at the sample to see, are you including every single person? But does it teach the child? I think that there's ways that you can use spanking if that's how you choose to discipline your child. I think there's ways to do it and do it. How can I say it? Do it in a way where they understand that it is a punishment that comes every now and again. I think that when you use it every single time on a child, it desensitizes them to it. It doesn't have the same effect.
I can smoke a bag of that if I smoke. Psychic Wayne, same question.
Hey, look. My mom hit me. I don't have kids, but I have nephews and I have nieces. So would I be... Yeah, I think it's true. And that's also in my natal chart. What's your birthday, by the way?
I don't know if I want to answer that.
Just stop.
Oh, we got
No, I'll tell you. But no, I think just total sidebar. I was gonna wait until afterwards to ask you, but like I know people do. They ask me all the time, like, "Are you diagnosing me?" Like, and I'm like, "No, dude, it doesn't."
Why I asked.
Right. Well, but because anyway.
All right.
My birthday's December 26th.
Okay.
On the Cappy side of the game.
No. That's only your sun sign, but I'm willing to bet that in your natal chart, if I did your natal chart, you have a lot of Virgo. You are super analytical, and I think that's great.
And she's controlling too.
Really?
Here he goes. I'm just throwing stuff out. Hey, Phil. Get on the mic, Phil. Because I could tell right now, just based on the beard alone, he got his ass whooped.
The beard alone?
Yeah, I got whoopings as a kid for sure. I think it's like a Southern thing for some reason. Like a lot of my not because my dad, he wasn't really with like the belt whoopings. He was more like go grab whatever he see. My dad is Haitian. My grandma from Texas, she wanted to go get a switch off the tree. So it really was different, but for sure, discipline though, definitely.
Wow. Did you derive value out of the ass whooping? Like, was there respect gained? Was there boundaries learned? Like,
boundaries was learned.
Yes.
Boundaries was learned for sure.
You've been to jail and any of that stuff?
Nah.
Okay, me either. But I know if I did this, I'm going to get whipped. So I can't do that.
I think it's the behavioral modification part of it. It's that if you do this, you will receive a punishment that is so awful that it'll deter your behavior. And while again, like I'm not opposed to spanking. I just think that if that's the only thing you got, then we got some bigger fish to fry. Like you got to have something else in your repertoire.
Should a boyfriend be able to whoop your kids? This real talk here, ladies and gentlemen, on the Voice of Reason.
Unless you're married and you have that understanding, but no.
Should a boyfriend or a girlfriend? Because cohabitation is on the rise, and they say so is the violence in that household, that cohabitation household.
I feel like don't touch my child, but if let's say you have a child and they're in a gang and you see them being real promiscuous or they're doing really like outlandish stuff, then I think if they're not listening to me, then I might say, hey babe, you might need to go holler at them, because maybe they need to hear from a man and maybe feel that a different type of way. You know what I mean? I don't want you to hurt my child, but I want you to see if a man can make a difference, because a man makes a difference a lot of times. Sometimes a man can speak to you and you're scared of what happens after you've been spoken to. Their voice is so strong. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be okay.
What if it's like that man from the Chronic album, the 90s? Dr. Dre's first Chronic album. Mm-hmm. You remember the guy that was on that little interlude when he was talking about this little African? I'm going to say this and I'm going to end mine. What if it's that nigga talking to your kids?
Oh, my God. Well, you know what? I'm going to tell him, I don't want you to touch my child, and I don't want you to overdo it like you do with these men on the street. But I still want to see if my child will listen, because some kids don't respect their mothers. I mean, some kids do need to see if someone else can speak, but don't beat my child. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a whole nother thing. Like, my kid come before all this. You know what I mean?
Here we go. Callers, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Hey, turn down your house. Your whole house is loud. Put your house on mute.
You know nothing of my house.
This is Jeff Brown. Jeff Brown, you've been whooping ass, haven't you?
I'm fresh off of ass.
You fresh off of ass, Jeff Brown? Talk to us.
Fresh off of ass. Okay?
All right.
You want to, but ass whoopings work. Okay? No, they're not supposed to be the first, you can't fight a war with just grenades. No, they're not supposed to be your first resort. They're supposed to be a very well mapped out last resort. It's a long
Jeff,
road.
Hold on, Jeff. Hold on. Because now you piqued my interest. How in the fiznuck do you map out an ass whooping? I need to know.
Like this. The first time, prime example, Zoe, you seen it. One of my prides and joys, I own a 65 Thunderbird.
Yeah.
I explained this to my son. Son, if you throw a baseball and hit the window of my car, what's going to happen? Well, I'm going to have to give my allowance to pay it off. Yes. I'm going to have to clean it up. Yes. But are you going to get a spanking? No. Why? Because that was an accident. Okay, we're going to make you responsible, but you're going to learn. Now, if there's 100 jelly beans on my table, and I say, don't nobody eat none of these jelly beans, and I leave the room and come back, and it's 98 jelly beans, somebody finna get their ass whooped over 2 jelly beans. Why? Because the lesson. I do not spank children without a definitive lesson. Do not defy me. Do not lie. Honor your word. Do what you told. And what you're being told is not out of the ordinary. I don't spank my kids when I'm angry. They know real clear when an ass whooping is coming.
So,
okay.
So
what did I tell you to do? Yes, sir.
So the condensed milk version of this is you don't get whoopings for accidents.
No, ever.
But you do get whoopings for going against what the fuck I told you.
Exactly. Against willful disobedience. In the face of willful disobedience, here's what has to happen in my house. One of us has to whoop the other one's ass. I happen to know you from Pasadena. I'm from Chicago. I got 50 on me. That's the way I look at myself. I don't think you can take what I'm finna give you. I don't.
So I want to go really quickly. To the doc. Doc, do you agree or disagree with his ass whooping map?
Let me keep it a buck. Yes. But let me tell you why. Because there's a method to the madness. Like, one of the biggest things that he said was not for accidents. Your kid is going to be a kid. You know what I mean? Anybody who got kids, kids, they going to mess up left and right. Like, that's just their nature. Cognitively, they haven't fully developed. They're working on that. They need rearing. So they're going to make mistakes. But he has structure, and that means it's consistent. That's not abuse. When it's random, when you don't know what's going to happen, or you getting punched out for any and everything, that's abuse. But when your kid can pretty much predict, like, okay, I already know the teacher had to call my mama twice this week. Like, okay, such and such is about to happen. That's discipline.
Right. That's great. Now, Psychic Wayne, I know what he is. Read this motherfucker. I know what his sign is. Hey.
What did he say?
Hey, Jeff, I want you to tell Psychic Wayne your whole birthday and shit, because he about to read if you're an abusive parent or not.
Sure. I will, as long as I can ask Psychic Wayne 2 questions at the end of this. Is that fair?
No, because you're going to ask about Netflix, and I don't want to hear it.
You stupid! Okay. My birthday is May 20th, 1965, 12:08 a.m.
What? Jesus. What? He doesn't have his computer here. Christ.
Well, I'm just going to shuffle the cards up on that. That's a different discipline, or divination, rather. No, this guy's not abusive. You actually are a very loving father. You really, really are.
I know this dude. I know him.
What's interesting to me, how many kids do you have?
13.
5. 3. Okay. Them 8 he talking about. That's still some litigation that's still pending. The 5 that I pay for are 3 grown and 2 young ones.
Okay. When it comes to the kids, it's definitely speaking here about you being understanding, you being a good communicator. In your relationships is a little bit different, you know? Is that true?
What do you mean?
In your relationships, you're not quite as understanding and communicative when it comes to your partner. You've been in some really rough relationships, buddy.
Turn my mic off. I don't. No, I'm just kidding.
In relationships, am I? I expect accountability from a woman.
Well, look, okay, I understand that, but what this is saying is, when I'm looking at this, is that whatever your expectations are, if they fall short, you're not as understanding as you are with your kids and having accidents. That's what I'm saying to you.
No, because
I agree.
Yeah. Is full fucking grown.
Well,
here we go. This shit about to turn the corner. It's about to jump the rails. The card.
You've been married twice. How many times were you married?
Oh, this is number 3.
Oh, okay. Well, I see 2. So.
Okay, that says that first half. I should never fuck with her.
Well, let me tell you, because the woman in the past, look at this. The woman in the past is the Queen of Swords, and she would take her swords and cut your balls off. So whatever y'all were going through, that must have been a really, really difficult relationship. Really difficult. And the second one, not so much better, but it was certainly better than that one. You know?
Is that true, Jeff? Because Jeff has real hate.
that's about 180 degrees out of phase, but he right on. He's like, it's not, he described those two women correctly, just he described 1 and 2 as 2 and 1, but he's exactly right.
Okay, Jeff. Well, shit, he wasn't there.
No shit. That's why I got to give it to him. Okay? I don't expect him to know them two horrible bitches like me.
Well, what I do is not for me to really know them. I think that my point is that it indicates it in the reading that I'm doing, and that's what a reading is. It reads your life. This ain't voodoo. This ain't magic. What all the people think. It just reads your life, which is what I do.
All right. Well, Jeff, man, I appreciate you calling in and putting yourself on the barbecue, Nick.
Okay. Come on, man. Now, can I ask my 2 questions?
Sure, Jeff. Brevity.
Okay. Yes, brother. Question number one. October 10th, 2000. Was it 2001? October 10th, 2001. Did you get an inkling in your spine? Did you feel anything? Did something tell you?
I knew he was going to ask this question.
2 planes are going to hit 2 buildings in New York.
Okay, so what's your point? Did I know about 9/11?
The day before.
I absolutely did not. No.
Okay.
What's your point about that? Look. When I do my readings, I have consultations with people that come to see me. I don't sit in my apartment and figure out the next disaster. That's not my job.
That's not his job, Jeff.
No, I don't know anything about 9/11. I was surprised just like you. So what?
I'm not asking. Okay, when I hear the term, and believe me, brother, I am not knocking or disbelieving psychics. My grandmother was one that would scare the shit out of you. So
was she?
I'm just asking. When I hear people use the term psychic, I think it is a question that bears answering, that the cataclysmic shift of humanity of that day.
Okay, well, let me just say this to you. I agree with you. Yeah. I don't like that term. When I first started doing radio 20-some years ago, I was on the show with Sinbad. So he said to me before we went on the air, "What are we going to call you?" I said, "Just call me Wayne." We get on the air. He calls me Psychic Wayne.
Oh, so Sinbad.
Ever since then, that's what it was. But I understand, because people expect me to read their brain, read their mind,
read their past lives, all types of shit.
They want me to talk to their dead grandma. I don't do any of that. My disciplines are the tarot and astrology. That's what I do. Those are tools that I use, and I've been using them for many, many, many years.
Well, let me just say this really quickly. Let me just say this, Jeff, before you. Let me just say this before you get to your next question. Are you ready, Jeff?
Sure. Well, he actually answered my next question, and I absolutely, I've heard this brother before. I really love his get down. I just never asked him that, and I would love to set up a reading.
Well, no, because I'm going to say this, Jeff, and then I'm going to end mine.
Uh-oh, you know what?
Thanks for pissing off our guest, buddy.
No, I'm a little sensitive today, that's all. But no, he's good.
You know what?
You do what he do.
Jeff, hey, where were you on September 10th? What? You fucking asshole.
And I've heard that so many times. Oh, well, since you're so psychic, why didn't you warn us about September 11th? Oh, yeah, even if I knew, I'm going to call the White House and say, hey, it's going to be a bomb tomorrow.
They're going to be like,
for them to come to my house.
Who are you? As a matter of fact, you stay on the line.
Right.
We're going to come visit you right now.
Right.
Units 12 and 4, move on.
Right.
Anyway, Jeff, hey, man, we appreciate you calling in, man. Thanks for being a good father. It was verified by the cards.
Love y'all.
All right. Isn't that crazy? It was verified by the cards.
Yes.
No, it wasn't. This is
confirmed.
No, but he's a good dad for real. For real.
Yeah, I can see that. He's a little crazy in his relationships, but he's a good dad.
You gonna put that out after he got off the phone?
Well, I told him pretty much that.
I mean, it's cool.
I told him he's different when it comes to his relationships. Look, all of us are a little crazy. I am too. It's okay.
Oh, man. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Were you beat down by your parents?
No.
Is this Dana?
It is Dana.
What up, Dana? Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hi. I'm great. Hi, Dr. Glenna. Welcome back. Welcome back, Mimi. Hi, Psychic Wayne.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, and you?
So have you been
no.
listening?
A little bit. I kind of came in at 5:30. I know you're talking about spanking, and what I have to offer to that is that I was raised by a single parent. My mother was not a disciplinarian, so I have been popped or hit, but I didn't get regular whoopings for or discipline in that way.
Did your mom pop you in the mouth?
No, but my dad did.
Wow.
Yeah, I got smart. You know me. I've always had a really smart mouth and all of that. So my dad, I didn't come home when the street lights came on, and it was after dark, and my dad came and found me and picked me up, and I said something smart, and he just reached over, popped me in the mouth, and I went crying to my mother, and I never did that again.
I ain't sharing nothing with you.
Behavior modification.
Yes.
You know how daughters are. Daughters be looking at daddies like, oh, is that what's happening? I ain't saying nothing else.
I never did it again. My mother whooped me one time for telling her she made me sick because she wouldn't let me go with her. So I got whooped in every room, including the bathroom and kitchen.
Damn.
And that was like the only whooping I remember that she ever gave me. So she wasn't that person. She just wasn't a disciplinarian. And, it took a lot. And then she would say, go on. And, I just had a really smart mouth. I didn't get into any type of trouble or do things that would cause her to whip me. But I had a smart mouth, and I was always, talking back and saying what, responding in that way, and silly stuff.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Dana, it's always a pleasure to hear your voice.
Yes,
Wait, I want a reading.
You want a reading?
Yes.
That's right, Dana.
What kind of reading, Dana? You want to know if
What type of reading is being offered?
Well, I was trying to tie it into the topic in my masterful way of radio manipulation. I don't know if this is just regular reading day with Wayne. Unless Wayne is up to doing it for you. Wayne could be a little bushy.
Wayne, may I have a reading, please?
Sure. What's your birthday?
12/10/67.
Okay.
On the Sagittarius side of the game.
You got a question for me?
I'm really going through a rough patch in my life right now. I want to know, is this going to turn around, or there's more work to be done?
All right.
Because I know it's all within my control.
Well, shit, you gave yourself your own reading. Why don't you pick up the cards and shuffle them?
Right. You don't need me. I can just lay them out and let you read them. This around a relationship that you're struggling around?
No struggling in a relationship, only the relationship with myself.
Okay.
But not a romantic relationship.
Okay, are you single right now?
I am single.
For how long have you been single?
Ooh, in and out. I've had casual.
But no. So how long has it been since your last relationship? There's a relationship that crowns you.
Years.
There's a relationship that crowns you that indicates to me that there is a relationship on the way. Okay, so here. Okay, hold on.
Okay, sorry.
She is a little quick on the trigger.
Okay. So what I was trying to say, there's some type of relationship that's coming here. Part of your issue when it comes to all of the craziness or whatever that you're experiencing, it has to do with bad relationships that you've been in. Okay. The good thing about this, whoever this person is who should be here or be in your life by the springtime or whatever, it's going to make some real changes for you. My only concern is that you have all of this baggage from the old situations that you may not even give this person a chance. When's the last time you had a date?
Years.
What's going on with that?
I had some work to do on myself and some healing to do, so I took out time to do that instead of jumping in situation, not really caring but getting what I wanted out of it.
Okay, well, I really like the fact that you're working on yourself, but I got to tell you, at some point, I don't even think you're going to realize when you're ready. because it's just saying this is a constant struggle. That's a perfect word for you. A constant struggle with yourself. This is telling me there's a relationship that wants to come to you or that will want to come to you, but you may not see it or get it.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So my advice to you.
Question, Wayne?
Wait.
My advice to you.
Yes.
I think that you feel like you've disappointed yourself, but in actuality, we all grow and we all learn. You have grown since whatever these old relationships were. So you need to give yourself a break. I need you to be a little bit more open to some fun and stop looking at all the things that are wrong with you, because there's a lot of good in you. I just sometimes think you don't see it. What were you going to tell me? What was your question?
I had a question. I have a friendship sort of with a mentor type of coach. Is that person, I would say, good for me, or are they helping me? Or
don't do it, Dana. Don't do it.
That's going back and forth.
Don't have sex with the mentor coach. Don't do it.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I'm not going to have sex with the mentor coach.
Wait a minute. Is this person a man?
No, this is a woman.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we good.
All right. Because there's a man, like I said, is crowning you. All right, so you want to know if this person is good for you?
Meaning that is this person really there to help me and assist me? Yes.
All right. Give me the first initial only.
K.
There's some magic shit going on in here.
Ain't no magic.
Like, don't disrespect.
Well, I'm scared.
Nah.
Actually, yes. This is the thing that I saw in the last read. Look, you're not that messed up, first of all, is what they're saying. So this person helping you, yes, gonna help, already has helped you to some extent anyway. I'm just concerned that you're not gonna, how much help you gonna need? That's what I'm concerned about. Like, you're gonna constantly believe that you need this help. You understand?
In other
at what
words,
point will you know?
understand.
At what point will you feel like you're there? That's what I'm concerned, because I think you're gonna keep going and keep going and keep going. Yeah, this person is great for you and has already helped you and will continue to help you. But at the point when they've helped you as much as they can, are you gonna be like, okay, I'm ready?
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. I hope so.
All right, stop holding
Thank you
yourself
so
back.
much, Wayne. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate you too, though, and that was a great show this morning.
Oh, well, thank you. I do my best.
Watch your spending.
That's
You
right.
Manage your money
Okay.
better.
All right.
Manage your money better. All right.
Okay.
I was going to have Glenna do some work with you too, but we've got the phone lines are just crazy right
Hey, you gave Jeff as much time as he wanted.
Hey, Jeff's a part of this show. Now, until you come in studio.
And where do I fall in that?
Right.
With, using friendship and everything else.
Hey, until you show up at the studio, buddy.
Guess what? Let's make arrangements. I'm going to call you offline for this Friday.
There you go. Let's stop talking about it. Let's be about it.
All right. I'm about to go through my dead zone, so you guys have a great one, and I'll continue to listen.
All right.
All right.
Awesome. Ladies
Thank you,
and gentlemen,
Dana.
Bye, Ruby. Happy to have you back. Bye.
Bye. We love Dana.
We do. We do. We really do.
Yes, we do.
I hope she was helped.
Yes.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason on Dash Talk X. Tonight's topic: Mom, you should have took the rod from your boyfriend before he spoiled your child. You can't let your boyfriend whoop your kid's ass just because you don't want to be lonely.
No,
An
you sure
in-depth
can't.
look at discipline, child rearing, and child abuse. Happens all the time.
More times than it should.
Yeah, what is the makeup of the mindset of someone who goes, I didn't see that. That didn't happen to you. Like when Mimi's mom was like, that didn't happen to you.
Yeah.
You misunderstood.
Yeah.
What am I bleeding for, though?
Right.
That ain't blood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you misunderstood.
That's Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
What? It's a mindset that, Glenna, I need help. What kind of person is that?
Sometimes they were abused themselves, so their understanding of what's appropriate and what's not appropriate is warped. Sometimes you're dealing with somebody that has their own mental health issues. Narcissists are among us, and even if they're not completely narcissists, people have what we call traits of a mental illness. You don't meet the full criteria, but you got a little bit,
So diet crazy.
You said diet crazy. First of all, I don't use the term crazy, not when I'm talking about mental health, because it increases the stigma. So, but there are people that suffer from mental illnesses, and that will warp how you view the world.
Wow, that's correct. Well, what is the word? Shit.
No, you can say that's crazy. That's fine. I don't say it in lieu of mental illness.
Okay.
What is the word? Just
But
Glenna, tell me the word.
What you mean? The word for what?
If I can't say that's crazy.
You can't say that's crazy.
So can I say that's retarded?
I'm not getting into that PC debate. We agreed as a collective professional community. But yeah, no, I don't refer to people. I don't refer to mental illness as crazy. I say people are crazy because people do some crazy stuff. I just don't refer. The mental illness and crazy are not interchangeable for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the phone lines are wide open. You want to participate in tonight's conversation? You've got questions for Psychic Wayne or the good doctor, Dr. Glenna Anderson, PhD.
That's right.
You gotta say it like it.
You gotta say DSW.
DSW. Okay, I don't know what that is. Is that a shoe line?
And doctorate of social work.
Okay,
goodbye.
cool.
Don't you ever.
Hilarious.
The disrespect.
That's right.
Mimi's in the building. It's going down in the town. You got questions? Call us 323-230-4610. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name and where you calling from? Speak on it.
Yo.
Turn your life down. I can hear you if your life was lower.
I'm at work, pimp.
Well, turn your job down.
Right.
Hey, what's poppin'? This is Zoe from Sheboygan.
What's up, Sheboygan, boing, boing?
Yeah, boy.
Hey.
Boy. Hey, what's happening, man? Hey, man, I just wanted to say, man, I had straight up, the mama from Precious.
Yeah.
That lady raised me in real life, homie.
She beat your ass every day, didn't she?
Man, she was crucial. One thing that touched me in the Precious movie is when help did come, when Precious mama was getting interviewed by Mariah Carey. And she was down there acting like she was just such a good mother and was crying and pleading. And, that really touched me because I had a mom like that who would just torture us, bust our nose, all kind of shit. And then when the people came, she was like, I love my kids and, I would never do nothing like that. And we just had to suffer and live through it. And I think I called back a couple shows ago when y'all did the simple thing. Mm-hmm. And I told you, that kind of made me soft. All the abuse kind of turns you. Like if you do that to a dog, you can take the bark out of him or take the meanness out of him. And I think being abused by a woman doing that to a little boy makes us kind of soft toward women. It makes us kind of, what do you say, capitulate? Mm-hmm. And make us kind of, you know what I'm saying? So I never wanted to ever piss a woman off because of the abuse that I had to endure from my mom. So I just wanted to share that with y'all, man, and see what y'all think about that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said help did come. In what form?
Social work, grandma. My grandmother took care of us. I was raised in the 90s. That's the heavy crack era, right? So my mom was hooked on crack, and my grandmother was my refuge. She showed me stability, but she passed away when I was 12. When she passed away, that put in me a fear. I don't know what this life was going to, give me when I had a crackhead mother to just be the sole provider. Because at one point I did have my grandmother and the social workers and stuff like that. When she passed, it was over. Right.
That's another piece of the puzzle. I mentioned mental illness. I mentioned people with a history of abuse. Substance abuse is another factor. People, and this doesn't excuse it, but people that are under the influence of substance abuse, excuse me, it stays in your system 30, 60 days even after you use. And so you'll never really know how it's even affecting the person's mindset, the person's level of irritability, how they think, their reaction time. It stays in their system. And you know because you experienced it. But if they are currently under the influence, if they can't get their hands on it, if they're fiending, jonesing, or whatever, they're irritated because they have to actually focus on you instead of being able to focus on their addiction. So, yeah, substance abuse is another another factor that I didn't even mention earlier as to why, some people end up that way. But I am very glad to hear that you said help came. I got a little confused because you said it came and then you said your grandmother passed away. Like, were you able to get proper services? Like, were you removed and put into a safe home of some sort? Did you get one-on-one therapy? Did you get what you needed in order for you to be okay?
Yeah, I had the mentors, and then we were removed from my mom's custody from, I think, the age of 6 until 12.
There we go.
But I wanted to ask Zoe, because Zoe, he does topics about simps, right? And I told him, man, I simped for my first wife, and I wanted to know, like, if you took abuse, would you still consider that man a simp if he, handles a woman like with all that care and all that love because he was abused? How do you view that man? Is he a simp at that point or what?
No, listen. That simp word is like some slang shit that you know what I mean? Like, but the bottom line is, if you've gone through some things and it's changed your perspective, you can't label like simp. Calling somebody a simp is like shaming them for how they behave for a woman. But if you've been through something and you have like this psychological issue with it, you can't be called a simp for that.
And can I say that being a simp is only problematic when it's one-sided? Like if you are a simp or you're soft, or you have a complete soft spot for the woman that you love.
Wait, hold on, Glenna.
Yes,
nigga, if you don't turn that motherfucking Slurpee machine down, turn it down. When we start talking to you, your Slurpee machine get loud. Glenna trying to tell you some shit, man. Turn the forklift off.
The forklift?
Goddamn foreman over here. Okay, cool. Glenna.
I was just saying that it's not a problem. If you have a soft spot for your partner, it's not a problem when it's reciprocated. When you both have times where it's like, honey, I'll do whatever for you, and it's reciprocated. It's only a problem when your partner is just taking and they're receiving. And then I would wonder, did you choose somebody that reminds you of your mother because it's familiar? Even though, on a conscious level, it's not what you really want, but did you choose that because that's the only type of woman that you know how to engage with? A woman that's volatile, a woman that's slightly abusive, if not full-blown abusive.
Wow.
You know what? I had a woman that was opposite, and I used to try to get her to act like that.
Because that's what's most comfortable. That's what you know. A lot of times... Yeah, people, they'll say, well, I don't know how to be with somebody. All I know how to do is argue. That's the vibration that I operate at. So that's all I know.
Wow. Hey, brother, let me just say this, man. This is some real shit from me to you. I didn't know you was that fucked up when you was calling in here before. No, I'm Hey, man, we appreciate you calling in and being so candid, man, and sharing your truth. You already know how we get down, man.
Hey, man, I want to say, man, I love you, girl. Good looking for all your advice and everybody in that room on that panel, man.
I love y'all.
Nah, for real, though. Seriously, man, we appreciate you for calling and sharing, man. Anytime, bro.
Peace out, man.
All right.
Thank you. We love you.
Yep. Peace.
Man, this show is amazing.
Amen. Yes, it is.
It is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
This is a place you can call and share without judgment. We might crack a joke here or there. But no judgment, man. Because you know how many people, like I knew this girl. I was messing around with this girl. And it was wonderful messing around with this girl.
Stay focused.
But, okay, thank you.
Oh, yes.
But I knew this girl. She went through hell with her mama. What her mama did to her. What her mama forced her to do. And a lot of times, man, motherfuckers just grow up and jump right into a relationship and have to kind of sort that out. Now, the intent is to go into the relationship and avoid everything that they went through. But the relationship be waiting on you to kind of like, okay, let's deal with this shit, How do we help these people who are in a situation like that? That's what this whole show is about. Call in. You got Psychic Wayne. And, of course, Dr. Glenna, a.k.a. the good doctor, in the building. Mm-hmm. Ready to save you from the darkness. The number to dial, 323-230-4610. Caller! You're on the line. What's your name and where you're calling from? Speak on it. Caller? Boost Mobile. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Hell is low. Welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm calling from Philly. This is Nikki.
Oh, shit. You about to cry? Don't cry on this show, Nikki.
No.
Hold your shit together, Nikki. You know dig? Don't call in here crying. Don't bring me no bad news, goddammit.
No, I was doing my workout while I was listening.
Okay, well, let's work it out. What's your deal? You whooping ass or your ass was whooped? What happened?
Well, I mean, I distinctly remember one whooping from my mother that I just thought was unjustified. But I was more so calling on the aspect of should you let your significant other beat your children or not. And I think I'm personally on the fence about it. It depends on the child relationship with that significant other and then how there was a large dynamic to it because I have 4 children, 3 with my husband. I'm still currently married to him, but that's a whole nother situation. And my first child is not with him. And my first child is a son, but he's a timid boy, even though he can frustrate you when you try to get responses and questions out of him. So there was one situation where my husband was, I guess, at the point where he didn't like what was happening when he was trying to talk to him. So he hit him. He punched him in the chest. And my son doesn't respond to violence. And so I was upset with how my husband chose to handle that situation. And I had to tell him, I know you say you view him as your son and you feel like you treat your sons different than you treat your daughters, but all he sees is that he's a child and you treat him differently than you treat the others. So you can't approach him like that anymore. Don't put your hands on him anymore because I saw how he responded to it. And I don't want him to think that me as his mother is not going to protect him, even if he feels like he may have been wrong. You have to figure out another way how to resolve whatever the disagreement is.
And before I throw it to Psychic, Wayne, and Glenna, wait a minute. Don't you, your boyfriend, and your children have to sit down and have the conversation that there's a new ass whooper on the team?
Well,
ass whooping just can't come out the blue from some nigga that ain't my daddy.
Right.
At this point, we were already married. But I totally hear where you're coming from. We were already married, but I still feel like it just depends on the whole situation, if it's a boyfriend or a husband, but especially if it's a step-parent figure.
But that's what I'm saying. As a kid who's happy to see you married, he was paying attention to the vows, and none of the vows said, and if that nigga get out of line, you get to punch him in the chest. They didn't hear none of that. So I think, in a serious way, you guys got to sit down and have the disciplinarian conversation.
Absolutely.
This is my husband now. He has different responsibilities regarding y'all now. It can't just be, nigga, you know what this is.
Right. Exactly what it was that day.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't think the conversation was had to that extent, like a round table talk, but I do think that it was understood because at this point, he had been around since my son was 6, and he could have been maybe 12 or so when the incident happened. So he had been around for several years.
Still, that's my mama's husband. That ain't my daddy.
True, but he actually called him dad. But at the same time, when there's other emotions underneath it, even though he said that title, I don't think he felt it, and I understand all of that as well. So
can I just
still
say,
had to have him. Go ahead.
Can I just add to that? In all fairness to you, you were saying that you guys are married at the time. Sometimes that's just relationships in general. Sometimes you thought you were on the same page until you get to a certain point and you realize that one person feels one way and one person feels another. You know, somebody thought we could make meatloaf with turkey, and it's like, no, we always gonna make it with beef. You didn't know it until you got there to that point. So that just could have been one of those points where it was like, well, I thought we were on the same page about, you know, when he get of age, he start taking two to the chest instead of getting popped with a switch. And you're like, no, I'm not about that life. So sometimes, again, in all fairness to you, I agree with what Zoe was saying in terms of you do have to have an understanding with the child and with the new parent. Like, hey, these are the new rules and regulations. But I think that sometimes in relationships, you don't know what's going to happen until it actually like hits you in the face, you know, until you're no pun intended.
Yeah, right. I agree with that too, because there were conversations that we had about how he treats his daughters different than his sons across the board. And I said, well, I understand you to a certain extent, but you can't do that because they're still children when you think about it. And if they see one being treated, in their opinion, on a pedestal, they're going to resent it. And I think that my son did actually resent that at a certain point because he has a daughter that's several months younger than my son. And he felt like she was treated better. And I had to have my son understand, as far as I'm concerned, she's not. Then I had to kind of check my husband to make sure he knows my son is in this house 24/7. She comes on a scheduled visitation. So when she comes and he thinks that she's being treated better than, you have to understand that that cannot take place in this house because he sees things in a different fashion. And that I do think that table discussion was never had, and it should have been on that level that she was referring to.
And I'm gonna go back to the good doctor. Tell me if I'm wrong, good doctor. Dr. Glenna Anderson. What is it? DSW? That's the shoe company, isn't it?
It is a doctorate in social work, homie.
Whoop.
Stay focused.
Okay,
That's
I'm back.
right.
I'm back. I'll be okay. But correct me if I'm wrong. In her particular situation, pause would be good before you react. Just a pause, a beat.
Her pausing before she react to him, or him pausing before react to her son?
Before he react to the son.
Oh, absolutely. No. I 100% agree. I think he thought that they were on the same page. Like, no, this is cool. This is completely appropriate. Like, this boy is of age. He getting out of pocket. This is how somebody handled me. So this is how I'm going to handle this kid. Because I'm sure, this is my guess. I ain't no man, but my guess is that this man was thinking, let me nip this in the bud while he's 12. So he ain't 16 trying to square up with me. Like, let me make sure that he understands
because men are like
what
that.
It is. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't have blood brothers. I got a gang of brothers that are like friends, but I didn't grow up with guys in the house, but I've heard story after story after story about guys that squared up with their dad at least one good time and got shut down. Right. So he was thinking,
shut him smooth down.
Right. So this man was probably thinking, let me address this now. But that's what I mean in terms of like parenting. Like, you gotta. Sometimes you don't even know it's an issue until it's there, until it's in your face. And then it's like, dang, like I thought we was on the same page. Okay, we got to take a step back. Like, I'm not in agreement with you punching my 12-year-old, our 12-year-old, because never mind the fact that there was step parent and regular parent. It doesn't even matter.
Right.
This could be both of our blood son. And I'm like, hey, I'm not okay with you punching him in the chest like that.
Right. And like I said, that sidebar between you and the stepdad. Like, hold on, let's go to over here. Let's talk about this. Listen, if you do punch him in the chest, I'm just saying,
don't go full blast.
Don't go full blast. Like a slap punch, sting his ass. Bam, mother. You can cuss, but don't say the.
Yeah, I think that there are discussions that need to take place. And I think it also depends on the child itself, because he knows that my son or our son is a timid person. So
you're saying he didn't require that?
Yes, exactly. Because my son is not a physical person. Like, he doesn't respond to.
Oh, so your husband was waiting to pop him then. Because all I'm saying is, if he knew the kid since he was 6, and now he's 12. He knew his temperament, and he wanted to bomb on your son the whole time. We're going to check with Psychic Wayne. Psychic, get the husband's reading so we can know if this nigga's Apollo Creed.
You know what?
What I think I missed.
Not Apollo.
Where's your son's...
Turn his mic on.
Where's your son's real father? That's what I missed.
He is not in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
He pays child support regularly, but he is completely not a part of the picture.
Oh,
Is it because you don't want him a part of the picture, or
No, that's his choice.
Oh, it's his choice. Okay, so all right. All right.
So we're looking at her husband, which is your son's stepfather,
Which
right?
is Saki Charleston. That's what we're gonna call him.
What's his birthday? Can you give me his birthday?
Yes, November 8th, 1982.
Scorpio. It just makes the
Yes.
Okay, cool.
What you gotta get Scorpio?
Because they crazy.
Yes, they are.
What do Scorpios do to hurt you?
And he's an 8. Scorpio 8.
They're a little bit intense.
All right, cool.
They're very passionate. Let's just say that.
My uncle is November 8th. He love me to death.
He about that life?
That nigga about that life.
Right. Ain't playing no games at all, right?
How long you guys been married?
Almost 9 years.
Okay. Oh, he is good. I think that your son needs him, is what this is saying. Look at that. You can tell. He needs somebody that's going to be stern with him.
Help me to understand, because that's a nigga with a gun.
Well, no. That's somebody like, look, I'm trying to keep you in order.
Yes, please help me. He got the gauge out.
No. This is the King of Wands. This is this is the Native American deck, so they're a little bit different than the regular tarot. He keeps order.
Just know we have a healthy respect for what you do, so you're going to have to explain.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
we do.
When I look at the pictures, I mean, the images are just what they are. So I was asking about her husband being good for her child or whatever. He is, because he keeps things in order.
That's how my uncle was.
Yes.
Yeah. He stepped in.
How old is your son?
He's 16 now.
Is he going? Has he been thinking about going to school somewhere else other than wherever you live?
He is in school someplace else.
Yeah, because he got socked in the chest at 12. I'm out. Deuces.
Okay. I didn't know what that meant, but okay. Got it.
Got up out.
Okay.
He's a good child. I think he's lazy. But
he definitely could be doing better than he's doing. And, he doesn't have as much drive as he needs. Being 16 years old, I think that his drive will increase as he gets older and that kind of thing. But for some reason, it was talking about him being away or going away or something like that. So, okay.
Wow. Hey, thank you so much for the call. This was very insightful. We appreciate you sharing. That was dope.
Thank you.
Wow.
Everyone have a good day.
You too.
All right.
You too.
All right now.
That was crazy. Where your headphones?
Because I can't plug in. That's why I haven't been able to hear the calls or say much.
Name of sweet.
He says they don't have the device.
And she gonna show up when the show is over. She disrespectful. She don't respect this brand.
So much. I respect this brand so much, and that's why I'm here. I better support this black man for real.
You know what? That's right.
No, this show is very interesting. I like pairing different people from different walks of life with different experiences to kind of shed light, man, on this whole situation of what it means to be a human being. And, you might not agree with everything you hear, but at least we jump-started the conversation. I have heard it too often. People turn it. Listen, the one girl I know, I kind of don't want to put her out there, but the one girl I know whose mama did the worst shit. I ain't gonna go into the details. She just did the worst shit ever. But she did it, and Dad was there too. So this is in reverse. Dad turned an eye. Now, I know men sometimes be oblivious and we don't see shit that be right. Just be right here. But if your daughter is getting hoed out by her mama and you don't know about it, how's that possible? Like, how? Now, listen, I'm a father of a daughter. And since she came out of that little empanada.
You know what? Not the empanada.
You know what? Since she came out, I've been there the whole freaking time.
That's right.
And I'm nosy. And I'm in shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I be questioning what y'all talking about. You understand? I be on it, man. You gotta be on it as a father. You can't just be on autopilot. As a parent, you have to be focused. And I've always been focused. I've always paid attention. I did find out some shit that was disturbing on graduation day, though.
What they hide from?
But see, they be hiding shit, too. And I have to be like, what kind of collusion you two motherfuckers got going against me? No, it's certain shit you don't need to know about because of how you react. So apparently, because I saw some little girl that was graduating, I said, oh, that's a very pretty girl. In a few more years, she'll be ripe. And then her mother was like, boy, shut up. That girl is gay. I said, well, what's that got to do with it? She said, that girl asked your daughter to be her girlfriend. I said, hold on.
Uh-oh.
When did this happen?
Look, okay, Dad's kid.
When did this shit go down? I was in the 10th grade. Nigga, this is senior year. Niggas is walking. Y'all didn't see fit to tell me nothing? No, nigga. You don't get to know everything.
Right.
It's true. I'm sorry. Sometimes you got to monitor the information that dads get. But I'm going to say dads fight against it. Snoop if you have to.
You know what? But you a certain type of dad. You know what I mean? You a certain type of dad. Yeah.
I'm a part of the movement.
Well, right. You know, and you know, I've sent you your chart before, but you're okay. It's hard for me to explain, but let me just try to explain it.
Here we go.
In your natal chart, we all have a house of children. Okay, the ruler of your house of children is in Scorpio, which means that you are very intense. You're a very intuitive kind of father, and it's hard to get stuff past you.
You know. They know that. They know that. They know at the end of the day, all roads end here.
That's funny because that might have been your instinct that was telling you something specific about that girl. All the girls in the room, all the girls at graduation, and you was like, that one.
Yes.
That's interesting.
And they was like, this
Nah, homie, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
Listen, just stop keeping shit away from me.
Okay. Right.
My daughter's a trip, though. She's a real smarty-arty, and she's a nerd, and she just stays to herself. And the only real hang-up she has right now is that she's in love with Chris Brown.
Okay.
Which kind of works for me.
Is he too far?
Right.
But no, she's like, not really. You know people who know. I will never help you.
Right. Right.
Not with that.
Don't ever ask for any assistance in that endeavor.
Right. Never.
But for now, she hasn't met anybody. She's in college now. She hasn't met anybody that's taken her attention away from Chris. Or I don't know about it. Because her and her mother do be giggling and sniggling and shit.
Right.
The fuck?
It's the snickle about.
It's all the sniggling about.
Right.
Callers, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Welcome to the Voice of Reason. Speak on it. What's happening, man? Who this? Turn your life down. Your life is loud. Turn it down. Caller. Okay, let's go to the next one. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hello?
Hell is low. Welcome to the show.
Be nice. This is Denisha from Kentucky.
Denisha from Kentucky finally called in, jumped off of the chat room, and now into the room for real. Talk to us about your story.
Well, I'm making a statement, and when we're talking about, these mothers or even just the fathers who are allowing the non-parent to physically discipline, a lot of this is playing out because they're wanting that significant other to either feel some place of power or feel they have a place. And then a lot of these women are getting so mesmerized by having a man that they're not asking the important questions, such as, things about his biological environment, which, hold on, which, that's where you see a lot of representation for a lot of stuff. So they're not asking the questions to say, what is your perception on discipline? What are your triggers? What's your relationship in response to anger? What are your coping skills to get over when you are angry? And then another thing that people are throwing out is it still takes a village. Now, I'm not opposed to that, but I still feel you should be choosy in the players because, see, some people just want the ability to be able to say something and not realize the importance of child rearing with the mental stability being, the main key.
Let me ask you this, Denisha. What do you think is a great nonviolent, alternative to ass whooping? It's got to be effective, though, but it's nonviolent. What's a great nonviolent alternative to getting in that ass?
To me, what I do with my daughter, first of all, is communication. She hates when I talk about expectations. I will literally talk about it all day. You're going to reiterate. You're going to explain to me and understand what I've said, what you need to be doing. Another thing is just that visual representation. Oh, you're going to feel, well, guess what? You're going to go back and you're going to have to, stand here and do community service hours, or you disrespectful to this elder, where you're going to sit, or you disrespectful to another child, so you're going to sit to get to know them. Like, I think we just have to put children in a position to where, cognitively they can understand, like, okay, I made this mistake, and the discipline of it is, okay, I had to, learn to see why I didn't like this person or why I was disrespectful. But then also, as a parent, you got to check yourself too. Because, see, we always want to keep talking about these children, but then not hold accountability for ourselves. The way we talk to them and the way we respond when we have our own attitudes about whatever's taking place in life. So I think it goes both ways because your kids are only going to do, either what they're shown or what you allow them to do. You can't go 2 or 3 years letting them, cuss and talk to you like I tell my daughter, we're not girlfriends. So you keep that up because you want to, be the cool parent. But then when you're ready to lay the law or another adult comes in and says, hey, she shouldn't be talking to you like that, you've already laid the foundation.
Okay, I could smoke a bag of that. I appreciate you for calling in. It's about damn time.
Hey, I love y'all, man. I'll talk to y'all soon.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Let me just say this. Oh, God. So many ripples, so many nuances, so many layers. She said something about, I'm not your girlfriend. Listen, mothers and daughters tend to wind up being girlfriends. It just happens when the relationship is good. Y'all niggas is gender partners. Like, for real. Like, if the relationship is cool, y'all niggas friends.
Nuh-uh.
I think it's a fine line between being a friend and a parent.
Nah, homie.
I think it's a fine line.
It's a fine line.
But what I'm saying is,
it's a line.
If the relationship is good, y'all tend to be partners.
Nah, homie.
Be like, yo, my dudes.
Mom is mom. Like, there's a boundary. You know what I mean? Like, I got a sister, got a best friend. Okay, fine. My mom, that's mom, and I love her to pieces. I can call her for anything. I can talk to her. But even in my talking to her, there is a boundary. I don't open up to my mom in the same way that I open up to my sister because there has to be a boundary. Like, the same way that...
Are you saying you open up more to your sister or less? You open up more to your mother or less?
I personally open up more to my sister for 2 reasons. Number one, I don't want to worry my mom. Sometimes you give mom the full gamut of like, oh, hell is breaking loose. And my mom will go into mommy mode.
Exactly.
Like, well, what do you need?
Shift gears.
Exactly. But now in her shifting gears, I'm grown. So now you about to cross a boundary. You know what I mean? You're about to cross a boundary and you're going to jump into my adult life.
Say more.
So I need you to let me be an adult. The only way I can continue to be an adult is if I act like an adult and don't put you in a position to go back to me being 6 and you being, 36.
You mean your relationship business is your business?
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly.
Mind your business, mama. I love you, though.
It's
all love.
relationship business. It's my money business. It's my kid business. It's not that I can go to my mother. And this is for anybody in general. You can go to your parent for advice. You can go to your parent and say, what do you think about this in general? But nobody gets a curbside seat to my entire life. Because once you open up the floodgates, it's hard to close it back up.
That's Dr. Glenna. She's a grown-ass woman.
You know what?
Totally agree with
all you little kids out there fucking around trying to be adults. We got a grown-ass woman in this motherfucker this evening.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't heard a woman in my life say no shit like that. I'm going to have to consult with my mother about this. If you don't get your 12-year-old ass out here, Mimi.
Well, you know what? I have a special relationship with my daughter. And so because of my life and how it's been, she can come to me for anything because her friends don't know or have the experience that I have.
Is she?
She's 26.
Okay.
But she's been coming to me all her life, and I've always had an understanding with her because my childhood hasn't been glorious. So I wanted to make sure we had an open line of communication because if you can't talk to me, then who can you talk to? And if you're not able to talk and get that real knowledge, sometimes you'll get it from someone in the streets whose knowledge may be a little shaggy or shabby, you know what I'm saying, or shaky. So I said all that to say I agree with what she said, but I also must add to it, like in my relationship with my daughter, I appreciate when she comes to me because the way she thinks sometimes is not all the way she should. And then if she's hanging around friends that have bad thoughts or they want to, she's asking them and they're giving her bad advice because 1, they may be a hater. 2, they may not have experienced that. 3, they don't know what to do them damn self. They just going along with the negative part of the game.
Wow.
They like, let me see this go through all this. You understand me? And see me because I've been through a lot. I give my daughter direction. Her friends come to me. I'm somebody you can come holler at.
That mom.
So yeah, I'm that person because I've been through everything that you could think of, and I'm still standing.
Wow.
And I think that the reason I stand is to help others and to help children that don't have direction and don't know where to go. And if they don't have a parent there, they can come holler at me, and I'm going to holler back.
Oh, I could smoke a bag of that.
I love it.
I see Mimi out here on the real Suge Knight mama side of the game. Is there a problem here?
What's up?
Yeah.
Have your girl come over here before she get that abortion. Let me talk to her.
Right, yeah, I'm trying to help them out. You feel me? Because they lost today. They're really lost today. And if they it's like the blind leading the blind. And sometimes you need to have someone help you to see.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Is verbal abuse a new and a potentially worse form of discipline than spanking? Verbal abuse.
It ain't new. It's definitely not new. Oh, no.
Which is worse? Ass whoopings or mouth whoopings? Shut your dumb ass up. Another F?
Oh.
You don't get your slow ass on the short bus. I'm just saying.
Oh, my God.
You got parents
really
out there. You got parents out there. You know what? This F represents your father. He was a failure too.
Right.
That's a quote. You might think it's a joke, but that's a real quote from a real life situation that came out of a mama's mouth. Gosh, listen, you talked about it on the pilot when we talked about trauma and how kids, that trauma shit is like you're absorbing something. It's like some radioactive shit in your spirit.
Right.
Talk to us about what that could do. The statement I just made. What does that do to a child's mind, body, soul, emotions, just his overall identity of himself? What does that do?
So trauma is anything that overwhelms the system, right? And everybody has a certain sensitivity towards trauma. So some kids you can say, you're stupid, and they remember it forever. And some kids you can call them stupid every day, and they be like, I know you are, but what am I? Like, whatever, I'm not even tripping. I know who I am. I know my identity. Like, it just rolls off like water. But in general, there's a saying that what you say to your kids becomes their internal voice. And so when you go back and you keep repeating all these negative things, this is what you're affirming in your kid. That you tell them you're bad, you're stupid, you ain't nothing. Okay, well then that's what they're going to believe that they are. That becomes their internal voice. So when, like say you're trying to try out for a team, or you're trying to do something, the first thought that comes to your head is now an automatic negative thought instead of an automatic positive thought, because that's what you've been fed over and over and over again by the very people that were supposed to be affirming and validating you.
Right.
So it's extremely damaging. I've seen people where they're doing great in life, so it's not even a matter of their circumstances, and they still have those automatic negative thoughts that they're contending with.
So this takes me back to my childhood. Or was I a child? I think I was always a man.
Hilarious.
This takes me back. I remember I was in high school, and I hated the high school that I wanted to go to, or that I hated the high school that I was at because I wanted to go to another one. And my mother said something that just fucked my whole, it made me just kind of give up on the whole thing. And this really pissed off my uncles. See, my son is this super basketball player, but he gets it from me. I used to play, and I was really good. And my uncles were like, that Scorpio nigga was like, okay, I'm going to get you the shoes. We going to get you in this league.
Hilarious.
That nigga there was cracking the whip. Like, get your ass on the court. Okay, cool, nigga. Okay. But my mother had given up on me because when I was young, I was really bad. Oh yeah, I was bad. Oh yes, it was some of the best days of my life.
Bad,
Story time with Zoe.
Yes,
When
tell
I
more.
was-
Story time with Zoe.
Like how?
Do tell. Zoe.
Story time with Zoe. When I was
Yes.
bad, you guys heard the story. I was throwing rocks at my great grandmother, and
Wait, great grandmother, as in at the person, not at her car, not at her house,
Well-
like at her physical body.
well, she shouldn't try to whoop me. She tried to whoop me.
And you threw rocks at her.
I threw rocks at her and my great uncle.
Oh my goodness. You were
Because
bad.
he came out like, no, you can't do that to mama now. And then he pulled off his belt.
And then you showed him.
I was like, nigga, are you in this battle too?
Okay.
And I was on top of the neighbor's roof, and they got rocks on the
You
roof.
know what?
And I was like, just beaming their ass.
You had a gang of
You know what?
ammunition. This wasn't even a fair
You
fight.
were bad.
So, and when I was younger, I got into a lot of fights. You see this in my book, The Relationship Dismount, right? I got into a whole lot of fights, and I had to move around from different elementary schools or whatever. My brother, who's 10 months older than me, this fool stayed at the same school. Like when we moved here as little kids from Chattanooga to Altadena, this nigga stayed at that school. It was a special, weird, hippie, Berkeley, strange kind of school where you get to, call your teachers by their first name. Hey, Bob, hi, George. It's weird, right? It was this special school. It was really dope. But I got into a fight in the first 2 weeks I was there. So I get expelled. But the school was crazy because all we had to do was hop the gate and, from our apartment to the school. The principal, Bill, an Asian man named Bill, after I got into the fight with Billy Sanchez, and I bit a plug out of his arm. This is real story time with Zolos. Okay. They was like, okay, you have to go. So when I was young, I started, getting moved around to different schools or whatever. But when I settled down and found my first love, which was basketball, I was good. So I wanted to, now high school comes around, and I wanted to go to this high school. And my mother told me, she was like, you're just too much trouble. That's what she said. Like, it's just been a long time, nigga. Like her whole energy was like, shit. It's just been a lot. You know, I don't know if I have any more energy to be fucking with you. You know, these are not her words, but that was her demeanor. And but she did say, you know, it's just, you know, it's been too much. You've moved around so much. And I was like, wait a minute. I haven't moved around since, you know, I've been in high school. You know, I want to play at this other school, and she just didn't do anything about it. And it kind of fucked up my trajectory in terms of basketball. So at the end of the day, I started doing music and rapping and doing all some other shit. Then I became a Muslim, and then she was like, nigga, what? She was like, you know you were saved when you were 9, so you can never undo that. My mother was crazy. I loved her to death, though. But I say all of that to say, man, like, parents can have like a fucking hella ill-ass effect on you. Even in a subtle way. Like, well, just say some shit and it's all bad. It's all bad. Like, one thing you shouldn't do is whoop your kids when you're angry. Or really talk to them when you're angry.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you could really say some cold shit
that you don't really mean.
That you maybe
can't take back.
Maybe you really mean it, but you know you shouldn't say it.
Right, that part too.
Like, you dumb, nigga.
Right.
Period. That's why I had a whole bunch of kids, because I knew one of you motherfuckers would be a rotten egg, and it's you.
Right. You know what? Right.
You know them old parents will tell you.
Excellent example of what not to say.
I'm just saying. Them old parents, nigga, you ain't all together. And you ain't never been all together, nigga. You know them old parents will tell you the truth. But is that the right thing to do? This is why we have to examine the verbal abuse thing. Because I believe verbal and emotional abuse has a longer kind of residual effect than that ass whooping.
I agree. Yeah, now I definitely got a lot of verbal abuse. So you're absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? And then it can make you feel some kind of way. You know what I mean?
Like you ain't shit.
Right.
Parents who have made their children feel like they aren't shit, please call us and repent. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. I want to hear from you. You know you've done it. You know there's been times I can honestly say I've never said that shit to any of my kids. Anything like fucked up. But what I do is challenge them. Is that the best you can do? Is it? Yes. Will it be the best you could do tomorrow? My son is like, my daughter gets on me for how I got on him. She's like, Dad, I don't love basketball. I was just playing to have fun. So all the shit you did with New, do not
miss me with all of that.
Yes. She was very clear. She said, this is recreational.
Right.
I was like, we're going to go to the park. We're going to get up 200 free throws. We're going to do right hand, left layups. We're going to do left hand. No. But then at the same time, she would say, Dad, can we go to the park to get up some shots? Hey, you want a little coaching, huh? Hey, let's go, baby girl.
She said it's recreation, but I didn't want to suck out there.
But then, right. But then she'll come back and say, but we're not doing this every day. We have a game tomorrow, and I just want it to be a little sharp. But, you know, hey, you can't get sharp overnight. You got to do this shit every day.
Right. She's like, no.
She was like, enough of that, nigga. Phone lines are open. Callers, let's get these last callers in. You're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Speak on it. Turn your whole life down. I can hear your living room.
Okay. I'm Monique Valentine, calling from Long Beach, California.
What's up, Long Beach?
Yes. How have you traumatized your kids?
Hey.
What's poppin'? Yeah, this is class of 2001 Long Beach Poly.
What didn't you Poly family? Because I'm class of 2000. Hey, boo, hey.
Oh, Lord.
I'm sorry.
Here come the family.
You know it. Jack Rabbit's all day.
Yes.
We got you.
All right, talk to us.
So, yes, I don't have children per se. I'm 35. I've actually been a child of mental abuse, not necessarily talking down, but rather not being encouraged, what's that, affirmed in your feelings. And then there was physical abuse from a stepfather, which was actually pushed by the military, if that makes any sense. Because it reiterated, like, even though he was very violent to me, he was like the first guy that like showed me how to be protection and put a gun in my hand and was like, this is how you protect yourself. This is how you protect your family. This is what it is. So that's what you grow up to be, you know? And so, like, when it came down to emotions as a mother, I love my mother to death, but she's really passive aggressive. So when it came down to, like, feelings or stuff like that, she might have got beat and was, like, in the kitchen and cooking right after that and didn't cry or didn't do nothing. You just kept it pushing. That's what it is. You know, and so, like, you go to school the next day, and that was just my lifestyle. Moving forward, I went to the military, came out, and I'm just kind of like, I hit a bottom part because you do have that aggression where when I do get extremely mad, I automatically think kill. And you're not supposed to do that because that's not healthy.
Well,
So I think we all
want to deal with a couple of things. We're going to have Psychic Wayne get in here. What's your birthday, young lady?
February 5th, 1983.
Oh, this
Aquarius.
Aquarius motherfucker right here. This nigga crazy. I'm tell you that right now.
Read me all day. I will take it.
This nigga right here, be very careful. She might show up at your house in a postal outfit. You never know. This motherfucker crazy.
That's actually very Scorpio right there. Or Pisces. Did you want to ask me a question or anything?
Okay, so like, yeah, like, okay, as a point in my life now, I literally walked away from everything, and I'm not lost because in my heart I want to be an entrepreneur. There's things that I want to move forward in, but there's a anxiety that I really have and depression that sinks really deep because of the past of not really having a reason to continue to live every day. But you keep moving, but deep down inside, it's more like, okay, I'm here, but I have to be here. You know what I'm saying? But I still want to keep going because, I mean, what choice do you have? Either move or die.
Did you say you were in the military?
I was.
Oh, okay. How long ago was that?
It was a while back.
Uniform.
2004.
Did you go overseas?
No, I stayed local. I wasn't ready for that. Literally, by the time it was for me to get out, I got physically injured, and I attempted suicide, so it was time for me to go.
Okay. Look, just kind of overall, this is still speaking about, you know, the problems and the struggles that you're having. Are you seeing anybody about it?
Of course. I started therapy.
When did you start?
2 weeks ago. I've had it over the years, but there's never been anything consistent.
You got to keep it consistent. I'm going to be honest with you.
Wait, not me. Been with the hospital.
Okay, listen. Yeah, this is saying that things aren't going to get better until somebody professionally kind of gets in there to help you with this, because it looks like within the next year or so, the way you're feeling right now is gonna be more so that way. You know.
Okay, so
but the good news of it is that there's some resolve for you. You just haven't found it.
So because I don't want you to stop, but let me do this real quick because we've got to connect Glenna and this woman right now. because Glenna has a private practice in Torrance. She's LBC. You're LBC. 2001 and 2000. There's no accidents in the universe. Glenna, can you speak to her about your contact information?
Yeah, absolutely. The easiest way.
That's you.
That's me. The easiest way to get in contact with me, just go on Instagram at Dr. Glenna LCSW, at DrGlenna LCSW. Just inbox me. That's the easiest way to get in contact with me. Yep. And then we can, we'll take it from there, and then I'll get your information.
Hey, Aquarius. Stop being so goddamn aggressive. You can't talk when we talking. I know you military. Hold up, fam.
So silly.
At ease, soldier. Shit. Yeah.
and hey, let me say this to you. So hopefully you're gonna call Glenna or whoever you call. This shows that you'll start and you'll stop. So you keep starting back at zero. When you start back at zero, you're not gonna get ahead. I need you to get ahead. I'm serious. Okay. You got the Tower card, which means that your life is going to change for either the very good or not so good. So we want it to be good. And the main thing here is that they're saying, yes, there's an answer to whatever your struggles are. But you got to keep going. You can't keep going back to zero.
All right. Look, that's the end of the show. We thank you for the call.
Yes,
we appreciate you, young lady.
Yes, we do.
Thank you for calling.
Keep it in your holster, soldier.
Yes.
I'm serious.
Yes.
Want no accidents? Keep it holstered.
Yes.
Hey, we appreciate everybody for calling. Listen, these shows, man, I bring people in like Glenna, the good doctor. DSW.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
On the OG side. She's not going to argue.
No, I'm not.
So don't call in here trying to argue with her. She's not going to fight you. She's just going to hit you upside your dome piece on your way home from Jones Beach.
That's right.
That's all that's going to happen. Information. My homeboy, Psychic Wayne. Whenever you're in LA, man, you already know.
I mean, I live here, so I need to come on more often. I really do.
You be playing reindeer games. You be getting heated with people. You got to let people disagree with you.
You're right.
This is devil worship. No, it ain't.
Well,
Tell you something else.
Hey, I'm just really sensitive about that because it's it's not even devil worship. But I've been through that. Hey, I've gotten better. Trust me.
You almost snapped on somebody today. We saw it.
Glenna meet me outside.
Glenna moved her chair back. I saw it. She saw that nigga. She said, okay, this nigga. You know she's a therapist. So she knows,
wait a minute. She knows the signs.
Mimi?
Yes.
Always love your love. Beautiful.
I saw Mimi out in DR. You look great.
Thank you.
Living your best life. Okay.
We appreciate everybody. We gotta go. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. We'll be back Wednesday with another